Welcome to Direct Mobiles TV, and it's that time of year again where Huawei give us a photography masterclass. That's right, the P30 and P30 Pro have just been announced by the Chinese manufacturer at an event in Paris. We was lucky enough to get hands-on with the successor to last year's photocentric P20 series before the launch event. And now that Huawei have officially unveiled the new flagship, we can now finally tell you all the juicy details. So there is 2 devices this time round, rather than 3. No P30 Lite. The cheaper option this time is the P30, but it's still extremely well equipped, although minus some of the key features from the Pro version. Looks wise, they are very similar, both sporting a small dewdrop style notch, and both with Full HD Plus displays. It's a 6.1 inch display with the P30 at 1080 by 2340 resolution. It has 6 gigs of RAM and 128 gigs of onboard storage. It also features an in-display fingerprint scanner and has a 3650 mAh battery. The P30 will have a triple Leica camera system with a 40 megapixel main, an 8 megapixel telephoto and a 16 megapixel wide angle camera. The main 40 megapixel sensor is also found on the P30 Pro, and this is what Huawei are calling a super spectrum sensor. Rather than using red, green and blue like other camera sensors to construct an image, this one combines red, yellow and blue pixels. This sensor has been engineered from the ground up, and according to Huawei gives the sensor much better color reproduction as well as increased sensitivity to light. That certainly seems true when it comes to the light sensitivity. The maximum ISO for this sensor is an amazing 409,600. While the P30 and P30 Pro do share this sensor, the camera setup is significantly different. The P30 Pro's new Leica quad camera system is a 40 megapixel super spectrum sensor with an f1.6 lens and optical image stabilization, a secondary 20 megapixel sensor with an ultra wide angle lens and an f2.2 aperture, and 2 new and very clever bits of tech make up the other 2 cameras. If you look closely at the lower lens, you'll notice on the P30 Pro that it's actually square, and the reason for this is that it's a periscope style zoom lens. There is a 5-lens prism inside there that reflects the light horizontally across the device to a camera sensor that's mounted at 90 degrees in relation to the motherboard. The extra distance between the camera sensor and the camera lens now allows for a 5 times optical zoom with the P30 Pro. There is also a 10 times hybrid zoom, which is a cross between the digital and the optical, and if you go all digital, then the P30 can zoom up to an amazing 50 times. The 4th camera on the P30 Pro is a time-of-flight sensor. This sensor is there to accurately gauge the distances between the camera and the objects around it, which is very useful for portrait shots, giving a much more accurate and smooth graduation between the in-focus and out-of-focus areas of the image, but also can be very handy for augmented reality apps. Huawei showed off AI Measure to us, which is a great app that can instantly measure in 3 dimensions any object you point the camera at. As well as an improved night mode, Huawei have also added a new super portrait mode, which works in a similar way to the night mode, but is there for use with portrait photography, taking multiple shots and then combining the data to make you look as good as possible. Speaking of looking as good as possible, the P30 Pro now has a 32 megapixel selfie camera and comes in 5 different color gradients. We have pearl white, breathing crystal, crystal black, amber sunset and aurora. The P30 Pro has a 6.5 inch curved OLED display with Full HD Plus resolution at 1080 by 2340. It also comes with 8 gigs of RAM and 128 gigs of onboard storage. There's a 4200 mAh battery powering it all that supports 40 watt supercharging. It features 15 watt quick wireless charging and wireless reverse charging. The biometric scanner is also under the display, which is said to be far more reliable and faster than the in-display scanner that's found in the Mate 20 Pro. The photography setup on this phone is pretty special. I can remember 1 year ago being absolutely gobsmacked by the photographic capabilities of the P20 Pro, and now I've just got my review unit of the P30 Pro, so I really can't wait to get out in Paris with this incredible smartphone camera, and rest assured I will be reporting back everything that you need to know about the Huawei P30 series very soon, so make sure that you're subscribed to Direct Mobiles so you don't miss out. We have over 24 years of award-winning customer service, so find your next phone at Direct Mobiles.